Yeah. All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am a self-proclaimed expert in YouTube, which means absolutely nothing. What it really means is I am actually generating leads. I am 13 years into my YouTube journey. And for about 3 years, I've actually taken it halfway seriously. And for the last year, I've taken it very seriously. So you're going to kind of get my journey and what I've done and what I've learned. I will tell you there is more that I don't know than what I do. So my goal is to share with you as much as I possibly can to give you a template of what things you should start doing now so that you can really build YouTube to work for you. I'll start by saying in the beginning, the concept was I wanted to create a library of educational content that I could share with borrowers. So if I had somebody one of my first videos was the 3 things you need to do to repair your credit. Because pretty much it's 3 things for everybody, which is catch up your bills and make sure they're all paid on time, pay off your collections that are less than 2 years old, and keep your balances less than 30% of your credit limit. For most people, those are the 3 things that they need to do in order to improve your credit. Would you guys agree? Okay, so I recorded a video about that, saying, well, why should I repeat that every time I'm talking to somebody? Or more importantly, if I had said that to them during my consultation, how much more valuable is it if I'm sending them a recording of what I said? Hey, here's a recap of the tactics that we talked about, but it took me 0 time because I created something that I could use as a replicated resource. Okay. Now, it took me a little bit to realize YouTube is a public platform. And so I have to decide, is the content that I'm giving somebody something I want to be public? It's going to show how many people watched it. It's going to have the ability to like it and to comment on it. And so it drove me to start thinking there's a real big difference between whether I put a video on YouTube or whether I put a video on BombBomb. Okay, does everybody know what BombBomb is? Okay, so BombBomb is the personalized video. BombBomb, even if it's not personal, BombBomb is where you host the video that says, congratulations on getting your loan approval. I am super honored that you've allowed me to get you this far in the process. And here's what's going to happen on the back half of your escrow. And that video I can send out every time that I get a loan approval. But I don't want it to look like I've sent it to everybody. I don't want it to look like 45 people have watched that in the last year because it doesn't feel very personalized. Or I'm saying, congratulations, I'm excited and happy to be working with you. And so that I would host on BombBomb. Even if it's the same video I'm sending over and over again, don't put that on YouTube. Okay? You want to put things on YouTube that actually are things people are searching for. So it was a key thing. And I have a PowerPoint I'm going to go through, but I'm going to not go through it yet. I'm going to kind of monologue a little bit. So the PowerPoint is designed to keep me on track, and very little keeps me on track. So the PowerPoint is not going to do that for me today either. The fact is, YouTube's about ultimately content people are searching for. YouTube is one of the biggest search engines that people use, especially. And there was by the way, let me introduce Anna. Anna, wave your hand, say hi. So Anna is my LP1 that does all of my content. Well, she doesn't do my content. I'm the speaker, but she does all of my editing. She does all of my graphics. She will be helping me present today as you guys have questions about, hey, how do you create a thumbnail? I have no idea. I have never created a thumbnail. She does that for me. Okay. But I can tell you it's super easy to do. And truly, if I needed to do it, I could. So Anna is here as my expert. And my focus really on YouTube is putting out content that YouTube will actually drive people to want to watch, because people are searching for information. And there was a graphic I sent Anna a few weeks ago, and I don't remember the details, but it was talking about demographics of who uses, Anna, you might even find this in my Teams chat that I sent you. And it talks about who uses different social media platforms based on generation. And YouTube was highly utilized in all generations, but I feel like it was like the 60-plus-year-olds used YouTube more than any other social media platform, meaning of that generation, people that were over 60, 50% of them used YouTube versus 25% using Facebook. These are totally made up numbers. My point is, as I looked across all generations of people, YouTube was a platform that was used consistently, whether you are 20 years old or you're 60 years old, people are using YouTube to find information. So I'm leveraging that and I'm saying, how do I put the information out there that people are searching for? And if you find that graphic, let me know. Anyway, I want to dive in and cover some things that are very tactical, give you a little bit of information about my journey. I'll leave ample time at the end for questions, but please feel free at any point in time if you have questions to stop and ask me a question. Anna, if you can man the chat, and if there's something in chat that I need to address, feel free to holler it out to me. So let's go ahead and present. So hold on one second here. Come on, John, present in Teams. All right. It's loading. John, can you see my screen or my presentation? Perfect, thank you. All right, so what do I want to go over? I want to go over how to get started, where to start. I want to talk about who is your avatar. And that's really, really important when it comes to YouTube, is understanding who you're talking to. We're going to talk some about what to post and how often, how to work the YouTube algorithm. I want to make it clear how this is very, very different in mindset compared to Facebook advertising. Todd's done a really good job and is continuing to do a really good job with his Jolt training of teaching us how to use funnels to advertise on social media. Todd watched a couple of my videos and he said, John, you're doing it all wrong. And he's right for what he's trying to do in Facebook advertising. But for how I'm building YouTube and what my understanding of YouTube is, it's completely opposite mindset. Neither one of them is wrong. And then talk about how to build a call to action. That's the biggest, most important thing that I added that has allowed me to truly generate leads out of YouTube. And then I'll have Q&A at the end and I'll do some demos and show you some stuff. All right, so let's keep going. First of all, it's been a 3-year journey for me to get here, even though my YouTube channel will tell you that I started it in 2011. I posted very little. My old videos, you can tell they're my older videos because the quality is not as good, the thumbnails are not as good, and my hair is not as gray. So if you're going through there, you can absolutely see what the content is. But it's taken a long time for me to realize, hey, there's something I can do here. So what I've done today, you're not going to get that impact right away. This is a long-term process of just doing consistency. A lot of the best things in life are that way. That long-term, consistent approach is going to create you a huge win. Equipment. Now, there was a video, a presentation, what are these called now? Next Level Tactics, that was done by Lauren Levasseur, maybe back in November or October. And she did a great job of talking about video, and she covered a lot of the topics about just recording videos. We didn't really go into YouTube on that recording, but you can find that on the Next Level Coaching website. So if you talk to Rebecca, if you don't know how to get to that video, I'm not going to talk as much about the tactics of the actual recording. What I'll tell you is don't overthink the equipment. Light, sound, and camera. That's all you need. Okay. Light can be as simple, like literally right now, I have a desk lamp right here. Okay, one of the Pixar desk lamps that is over the top of my computer that I'm using for light. But I'm using that because without the light, I'm dark, right? So you don't have to have special box lighting. I do have that because I've done it over time. And so in my home office, I have a green screen room and I have the box lighting and I have the Yeti microphone and all that stuff. I have for Christmas, Santa got me a really nice camera. So now I've got much better camera quality, but that can come over time. Your best camera is your phone. Okay, I'm using the camera that's built into not built in, but the webcam. That is not a good camera. Record on your phone, use your phone. Your phone technology has amazing video quality. Audio, as long as you're in a quiet room, use the sound the microphone that's built into your camera. Otherwise, get a lapel microphone. Okay, they're not very expensive. You can get a wireless lapel microphone. That way, if people can't hear you, they're going to tune out. Critical. People can't hear you, they're going to tune out. So lighting, camera, and audio is all that matters. Now I want to talk about live versus recorded. There is a service, this is the first tactic. If you're serious about YouTube, you need to sign up for StreamYard. I don't know how much StreamYard is. It's not expensive. But for full disclosure, StreamYard has an affiliate link. So if you sign up for StreamYard, use my link. Go to streamyard.johnlunking.com. You get a $10 credit for starting, and I get a $10 credit for you signing up. So everybody wins. But StreamYard is your video editing best friend. Okay. StreamYard allows you to broadcast live streams to multiple social media platforms at the same time. Think about that for a minute. I create videos every single Friday for the last 2 years. I have done a market update video. Now, I did that as a recorded video that I would upload, and I did a tactic, a teaching. I did Financial Fridays, and I taught about something financially related as a live stream. So 2 different ways you can do it. You can record videos and upload them, or you can do them as live streams. But my Financial Friday update, I might have a financial planner on there talking about, how to manage your money. I might have a CPA on there talking about taxes. I have lots of videos. I did an insurance agent talking about what insurance is and how different insurances work. By the way, none of those performed extremely well, but it created content. It created consistency. Okay. But the deal is, I was able to do one live recording that went to my YouTube channel. It went to Facebook. It went to X, formerly known as Twitter. It now can go to Instagram, and it goes to LinkedIn, all at the same time. So I could do, now what I do is every Friday I do a live market update. So I'll just go on live, and I will just say, hey, I want to start recording live and broadcasting live. And StreamYard says, great, where do you want to send it? And I say, well, I have 2 YouTube channels. I want to send it to this YouTube channel. I don't want to send it to Instagram, but I want to send it to Facebook, my main Facebook and my business Facebook. And I want to send it to LinkedIn. And it will broadcast simulcast to all of those platforms at the same time. So if you're looking to do what Todd talks about of the octopus method, get in front of people in many different places all at the same time, StreamYard allows you to replicate yourself, and you can edit your banners, take a little bit of education kind of playing through it, but you can add banners that have like on the bottom of the screen that you can put topics that say, hey, I'm talking about X, and then I switch it and I talk about Y. And you can have little titles that come across the bottom, and it's really easy for you to navigate while you're recording. So if you're worried about, John, I don't have the time to record a video, watch the video, edit the video, add the graphics, and then publish it, then just do it all at once. Literally, I am recording and publishing at the same time. And StreamYard is allowing me to add the graphics while I'm in the middle of the live stream recording. Okay. Does that make sense? And does anybody have questions about what I'm talking about when I say live versus recorded and the impact StreamYard will have on doing that? No. Okay, good. Length of video. Here's the deal. I don't think there's a right length. Anna and I have argued over this multiple times. So Anna, I'll let you jump in and share your thoughts. Anna has done a lot more studying of YouTube and the algorithms and what she sees. So Anna, when I say length of video, what do you say?
I always tell John to try to keep it at least 5 to 10 minutes long, but he goes overboard, which is fine.
So here's the deal. I have not seen a significant difference in performance on videos that are long versus short. Now, some of my best videos are, and I'll show you a couple of those videos, are recent, and they aren't very long. So maybe I'm wrong because I learn as I go. Okay. But I've got some super long videos. I do hour-long master classes. So a year and a half ago, I started doing a monthly master class that I broadcast live. So I had people that would, by the way, StreamYard acts as a webinar platform. So people, you can have them sign up and attend via StreamYard. One of the coolest things about StreamYard is when people are watching you live on all of those platforms and they post a comment, the comments all come to the StreamYard panel. So if somebody comments on YouTube, you see it and you can actually bring their comment on the screen and talk about it. So it encourages interactivity as you're recording, okay? So I've done hour and hour and a half long how to buy masterclasses. And depending upon the topic, I've had some pretty good views, but more importantly than views is I've had great engagement. And we're going to talk a little about engagement versus views. Editing thumbnails and titles. Anna is my expert on that. We'll talk a little bit about that in detail in a couple minutes. What I'll tell you is don't overthink it. If you mess up what you're saying, unless you drop an F-bomb, just move on because you're showing who you really are. Okay, so if you stumble, if you say, "Oh wait, I think I had that wrong. Actually, I think the program requires that you are self-employed for at least 3 years, and I think I said 2 years a minute ago. Anyway, I'm not sure, but if you're between 2 and 3 years, double check with me because it's one or the other. Who cares? I'm being me. I'm being human. I'm not going to go back and re-record it. Okay, and broadcasting live has really honed that for me because I don't have a choice to go back and change it. I'm literally, like right now, I say something wrong on this video, there's nothing I can do to change it. It's just me being me. So I don't think much about editing. Thumbnails and titles are critical once you get to the point of consistently creating content. So if you're not creating any content, I don't want you thinking anything about thumbnails and titles. Just create the content and get in the habit of creating the content because you can always go back and change the title. You can always go back and change the thumbnail. I said that the videos I did 10 years ago, you can tell because the thumbnails and titles are horrible. Well, the truth is Anna's gone back and changed a lot of those. I did a video back in 2017, maybe, that was mortgage insurance versus homeowners insurance. Which one do you want and which one do you not want? And I have had consistent views on that video over the years because that's a question that people ask about. They're like, I don't understand. Do I want this? If I don't have mortgage insurance, what am I missing? People don't understand that. So I did a 3 or 4 minute video about that, and I continue to get views. I did a video on, does refinancing impact your property taxes? And I continue to get views years later about that because these are the questions people are asking. Okay, so you can change your thumbnail later, you can change your title later, but most important, just get started and be yourself. All right, let's keep going here. All right, so find your niche. Todd's talking about this a lot. If any of you guys are following what Todd's doing with Jolt Coaching, your avatar is critical, and it is critical in YouTube. Okay, so get really clear about who you are talking to. Who is your audience that you want to talk to? What are they searching for? What concerns do they have? And do your best to consistently produce content that that person cares about. Okay, and I'll tell you in a couple minutes why that really matters. You want to become the authority in everything that that person wants to know and give them the content that they're looking for. All right. Again, time for Q&A. We'll go through some samples. What to post and how often to post it. The first thing I'll tell you is it doesn't really matter how often you post. Just be consistent. I've heard people say, hey, you need to post daily. I've heard people say you need to post weekly. I've heard people have significant success posting once a month. Okay, so you have the quality versus quantity question. What I'll tell you is you are way better off having good quality videos. And I am not talking about editing quality. I'm not talking about lighting and sound quality. Yes, lighting and sound quality are critical. What I'm talking about is the content. What you are referring to, what you are teaching. Sorry, Chris, that I'm boring you. I know you're driving and just listening, but that yawn was pretty big, buddy. Anyway, caught it out of the corner of my eye and couldn't miss it. All right, so it's about consistency of posting. So you don't want to post once and wait a year to post again. Okay, I have been doing for the last 2.5, 3 years, at least once a week, closer to 2 or 3 times a week. And I'll tell you that posting live makes it easier because you don't ever have to think about editing and going back. Now, there's a drawback to posting live, and that's how YouTube stores the information for reference later. I'll show you that in a moment. But posting live is an easy way for you to not get stuck with the, oh, yeah, I still got to do this and that to make sure my video is perfect. Your video is done the moment you press stop recording. It's been published. Okay. When you find something that works, repeat it in a different way. Clearly, you've hit a nerve. You found something your audience cares about. My best performing video up until the last 60 days were videos about the California down payment assistance programs. And they were two videos that I did back in 2018 and 2019 that were live streams that I streamed using a different platform. And I got consistent views for years on those two videos because people were searching about that particular program. Okay. And that's how a lot of people found me. So I did another one a year later. It was an update version, and that one performed equally well. So when you do something, don't say, oh my gosh, okay, I can't repeat that. No, do it again. You struck a nerve in your audience, give them more content on the same thing, and you start building a deeper audience, provided that's the business you want. What do I mean by that? If you teach people how to fix their credit when it's a 500 credit score, what are you going to get? A bunch of people with 500 credit scores. Is that really what you want? So be careful about what you ask for. Be careful about what you're teaching, because you're going to get more of that. And I'll show you my best performing video, which I may, in fact, come to regret. We'll see, because of what the topic is. But it is by far my fastest growing and my best performing video, and it literally took off in the last 30 days. Steal other people's content. Okay. There is no such thing as original information that's out there. Please subscribe to both of my channels. I'll tell you in a minute why this matters, but please don't watch 30 seconds of my video and tune out. But if you're going to subscribe, watch the whole video. Okay. You help me by watching the whole thing. You hurt me by watching 30 seconds of it. Okay. But feel free to steal my stuff. Okay. My audience is not your audience. Steal other people's stuff. But most importantly, if you don't know what to say, think about the questions your clients and realtors are asking you and answer those questions. That's the simplest method of coming up with content. What are people asking me? I did a video 2 years ago as rates started going up called The Death of the 0-Point Mortgage. Freddie Mac last month published a report that said, I don't know what they said, like 70 or 80% of the people that did a mortgage in 2023 paid points. The 0-point mortgage, because of the market dynamics, pretty much went away. So I did a video about it. And I referred people to it. I'm like, well, why can't I get a 0-point mortgage? Well, I can explain it to you, or I can give you a video that you can watch. What would you prefer? Oh, John, send me the video. And so I'd send them the video. That's me talking about the death of a 0-point mortgage and why mortgage companies don't want to take higher interest rate loans when they know rates are soon going to turn around and start coming back down and you're going to refinance. We all understand that dynamic. I explained that to consumers because everybody was asking me, John, why can't I get a 0-point loan? Then let's get ahead of it and put the information out there. All right. Anybody have questions about anything? Feel free to raise your hand at any point in time as we're going. Okay. So here's the deal about YouTube. YouTube's business model is simple. Does anybody know what YouTube's business model is? How does YouTube make money? Anybody?
Ads.
Absolutely. So YouTube makes money on ads. Now, how does YouTube get you to the ad is good enough content that you want to continue watching. And so you'll stay for the ad because you want to get to the other side of the ad to keep watching the content. Does everybody agree with that? It's no different than network television that we all grew up watching, that they make their money on the ads. They pay for the television show because they get paid for the advertising that goes in the middle. Okay. YouTube, that's their business model. That's all they want. They want something that people want to watch. And the problem is YouTube has to decide what to present to you as the viewer. And it doesn't want to be wrong because YouTube says, look, you're right now watching a video, and as you watch a video on YouTube, it gives you suggestions on the right side of videos that you should be watching. At the end of the video, it gives you suggestions of videos you should be watching. When you go to the home page of YouTube, it gives you suggestions of videos that you should be watching. YouTube is trying to learn everything they can about you, the viewer, so they are using that precious space, those precious thumbnails that are sitting there that you're looking at and saying, oh, that looks interesting. And you start going down the rabbit hole and watch something else, and then down the rabbit hole and you watch something else. You need to be able to help YouTube figure out who to give your content to. Does that make sense? Like, that's the simplest thing their algorithm is looking for, is saying, hey, I like the stuff that John King is doing, but every time I present it to somebody, they don't click on it. Or they click on it and they watch it for 5 seconds and they click off. Then I'm not going to recommend it to anybody anymore because this isn't making me money. People aren't staying on his video long enough to get us paid for advertising. So a little trick to know if your video is doing good is if YouTube adds an advertisement to it. When you put a video up, there's no advertising when you click on it. When you start your video, there's no ad. In the middle of the video, there's no ad. Why? Because YouTube's not going to waste ads on videos that nobody's watching. As soon as your video starts getting traction, YouTube tags it and says, okay, this is worth it. I'm going to place an ad there. And then they start pushing it out to more people. And YouTube quickly makes a decision. The computer makes a decision. Is this something people are watching or not? And if they're watching, they're going to keep presenting it to more people. And I'll show you a really good example of what just happened with one of my videos and how that works. And that can happen on your first video, or it can take a really long time to go. Okay, it took me a really long time. Okay, I tell my kids, oh my gosh, this video went viral. They're like, oh my God, Dad, how many hundreds of thousands of views? I'm like, no, I've got 1,000 views in 12 hours. Oh, yeah, Dad, like every TikToker I know gets that in like 10 minutes. Okay, fine. I'm not as cool as your TikToker friends or whatever the people are that you're following, but in my world, that is like viral. Most of my videos get, a couple hundred views. So when I hit 1,000 in 12 hours, that's viral. All right. So subscribers. Subscribers are important, but people get too caught up in the numbers and say, "Oh my gosh, your video's not your channel's not successful. You don't have enough subscribers." Subscribers are required for YouTube to pay you for content. I get paid way more for closing alone than I would ever get paid from YouTube. Well, maybe if I'm Mr. Beast. See, I'm cool. I know who Mr. Beast is. If you don't know who Mr. Beast is, you're not cool. Okay. But maybe he's like the best paid bazillionaire on YouTube videos. But so yeah, he's going to make way more money on YouTube than I'm going to make on mortgage. But in general, every single one of us watching this are going to make way more money doing a mortgage than we're ever going to get paid by YouTube. So I'm not trying to build a channel that is monetized. What I'm trying to do is to find my clients and get them to call me. As a matter of fact, to get them to do what's happening right now, which is I'm literally getting people to complete a loan application and shoot me an email saying, John, I found you on YouTube. I've been following you for a year. You're my lender. I just submitted my application. What's my next step? Who wants that? Right? Like that's the goal. I don't want to get paid by YouTube. I'm not, look, I'm happy to get paid by YouTube, but that's not my goal and I'm nowhere near there. Cleo, go ahead.
So if I can ask, how many closed loans do you get from your YouTube activity?
So remember, it's a journey. Since August of last year, I've consistently closed one loan a month out of YouTube. That's closings. Okay. For a very particular reason, there is a program that I have been nurturing for the last year that is launching right now, and I've received 45 loan applications in the last 3 weeks, like 45 complete loan applications from people in the last 3 weeks that came from YouTube. Okay. But that's a very specific program that I had been nurturing that was available for the first time last year. Ran out of money. Money came back out this year, and it's so I've been nurturing an audience for that for the last year, and I'll explain to you kind of what I did there. But it's exploding for me right now. But I also know that's somewhat temporary because once this program runs out of money again, I can continue nurturing an audience, but I'm not going to get a bunch of leads. Does that answer your question, Cleo?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So impressions and click-through rate, I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, but basically impressions are how many times YouTube shows your thumbnail to someone, and click-through rate is what percentage of the time that it is shown that somebody actually clicks on it to watch the video. And then average viewer duration is how long they actually do watch the video. Okay. So if you've been learning from Todd on Jolt and watching what he teaches, he talks about, hey, find what their pain is, talk about how you're going to solve their pain, but don't talk about the actual solution. Don't give it away. Don't teach them because then they're just going to take that information and go to their loan officer. So be the so on that side, I don't want to call it clickbait because it's not, but it is more clickbaity because you're just trying to get somebody to say, wait, what does that mean? Wait, what is that all about? That you're trying to be a pattern interrupt on Facebook advertising. On YouTube, you're trying to be the opposite. You're trying to clearly demonstrate you're looking for this, and I have the answer, and I'm giving it all away. Okay. One of my favorite stories, that Cal Haffa, the down payment assistance video that I said performed really well from back in 2017. By the way, really well is like 2,500 views over that 6-year time frame. Okay, so just to give you context, that's really well for what I've been doing up until now. And I had a builder rep call me one day laughing, and he says, John, I got to tell you a quick story. I said, what? And he says, I called a loan officer that had one of our loans, and I heard your voice in the background. And I'm like, that's really weird. And then he goes, oh, hold on. I'm watching a training video. Let me pause the video because I wanted to take your call. His training video was my YouTube video about the program and how it worked. That is success. Okay. I don't care that I'm teaching my competition because you're not going to leverage it the way that I'm going to leverage it. And I'm the expert in the eyes of the consumer if they found it. And that guy's client was never my client in the first place. You guys understand that, right? Like, we aren't competing for that same client. He's got somebody who's trying to understand how it works. And he's helping my YouTube algorithm by watching that video. So please watch all of my videos. Please send them to all your mortgage friends to say, hey, this is how you learn how to do mortgage. How to do mortgage. You get my point. Okay. So the point is that's success. You're giving away all of the information. People are looking for answers, not teasers. Now, this next part's super critical, and you will find information on both sides of this. There are two schools of thought. One is you should be pushing your videos to other platforms. So take your YouTube video. By the way, I am not a fan of this. Before you write it down and circle it saying do this, my channel has performed better once we stopped doing this. Anna, would you agree? Okay, she says yes. All right. So some people say push them out there, which I did a video July of last year teaching realtors, maybe it's July of the year before, teaching realtors how to use YouTube. And I said, look, you have to get eyeballs on your videos, so send them out. Send them to people via email, send them to people via Facebook and other platforms, because the idea is you've got to generate eyeballs watching your videos. You're going to get more views. That was true. The problem is twofold. A, if somebody is not a regular YouTube user, the algorithm doesn't understand what other things that person likes. And so if you get 1,000 views on a YouTube video, but all 1,000 of those people have never used YouTube before, then YouTube says, hey, this is popular, but I have no idea who to show it to. There's in Facebook advertising, there's a process of what's called a lookalike audience. So I've got this avatar, I've got these people that have watched my stuff. Find me people that look like them. Find me people that have similar demographics, that watch similar videos as these people that watched my stuff. Find similar people that have watched similar stuff. Okay. And so that's a lookalike audience. That's what YouTube's doing all day long. And so if you send it out to people that are not established in YouTube and you get a bunch of views, that doesn't help your YouTube algorithm. It hurts it because YouTube says, I don't know who to show this to because I can't create a lookalike audience because I don't know what your audience looks like. So my channel has performed way better when I stopped pushing the content out and I just focused on creating good content and letting YouTube find my audience for me. And again, I'll show you a little bit more about how that works in a couple minutes. All right. Questions before I move on? Anybody got any questions about anything I've said? Okay, a couple of tips and tactics. ChatGPT is my best friend. I absolutely love ChatGPT. If you haven't used it, you should. If you're not paying for the $20 version, you should. Half of what Anna does is done in ChatGPT. The other half is done in Canva. Is that a fair statement, Anna? She says yes. Okay. Anna has an aversion to clicking the unmute button. So I will just watch for her to give me a head nod, yes or no. I'm the one that likes the spotlight. All right. So the two things that matter is the thumbnail and the title. So this is YouTube Advanced. Okay, if you haven't started, just start recording videos and you can hang up right now. I'm kidding. But this part, if you're doing YouTube videos, the next step is good thumbnails make a huge difference. What you're looking at as an example is my most recent best performing video. This is the thumbnail for it. And all we wrote was bad idea question mark. And then the topic or the title, buying a manufactured home, things you must know before, and I don't know what the rest of it said. But basically before buying one, whatever. And I went through 5 tactics, 5 things you need to know about buying a manufactured home. I have gotten more views and leads from this video than anything else other than the down payment assistance program that I've been focused on as a separate tactic. Now, this is where I said maybe I'm going to regret it because I'm getting a lot of calls about manufactured homes. Literally had somebody from South Carolina that scheduled a call on my Calendly with me this morning, and I talked to her at 8:30 this morning about buying a manufactured home. Now, she bought a traditional home using a VA loan a year ago, and so I kind of talked to her about other alternatives other than a manufactured home. She liked what I talked about, and so we potentially are going to do something in the future. I'm creating a potential client down the road, even if I'm not doing a manufactured home loan for her, because she said, John, I've watched a lot of videos. She literally on the phone call, she's like, yeah, and I learned this about manufactured homes, and I don't know if that was on your video or not, but you were definitely the smartest one of everybody that I listened to, and that's why I reached out to you. That's what I'm looking for. That's the point when I say give it all away. Give everything away that you possibly can. The secret sauce goes out there because everybody else is talking about this as well, but those that are holding back are the ones that people are not going to trust them. They trust me because I'm telling you everything that I know and I'm not holding anything back. So a couple of things that Anna added about using ChatGPT to create titles. Do not just copy and paste the title that was created by ChatGPT. YouTube knows that. There's ways that they can tell what is created by AI, and it will not help you get views. Use it to create ideas. Use it to create a framework of, hey, I want to talk about this. Or if you don't know what to talk about, you can use ChatGPT to give you ideas of content and even give you kind of an outline. Okay. Keep in mind when you're creating a title that you want to focus on emotions, interest, and curiosity. Okay, so you really want to pique people's emotions, get their interest, and make them curious about it. Really dive in your mind is, again, this is advanced YouTube, understanding your viewers' intentions and what they want, and don't do clickbait because they will click off. Okay, Anna, do you want to add anything to that?
No, you got it.
Thank you. All right. Analytics. I'm going to talk about analytics in a minute, but here's the deal. YouTube has the backside of YouTube. It's called YouTube Studio, and I'm going to show you YouTube Studio. Again, this is advanced, but in the beginning, you simply need to just post content. But once you start posting more content, you can see in the analytics, it tells you everything about your video and its performance over time. So I'm not sure how big you can see this, but the one on the left says, 58 views since it was published and 0 subscribers. The one on the right, I've got 4,736 views since it was published, and I picked up 47 subscribers. Okay, so, and again, I'm not looking for subscriber count, but these are people who liked what I watched, what I showed enough, probably clicked on a couple of other of my videos and said, this guy's somebody worth listening to regularly. I'm going to subscribe. That's ultimately how you know you're connecting with your audience, is by getting more subscribers. Okay. Call to action. This is my last slide, and then I'm going to show you guys some demo stuff, and we're going to do some Q&A. Here's the deal, and this is something I changed. I started adding QR codes to my video, and StreamYard made it easy. I can put it right over as a banner over my head, and it says start the application process now and scan this QR code. That is literally how I'm getting loan applications submitted before I even know the borrower. Okay, they're just taking a screenshot of it, and they are scanning the QR code, and they're going to my mobile app, they're downloading it. Now, some of them download it and they get partway through the app and they abort. They stop, they quit the process. But they're now a lead. I've got their contact information because they registered. So we're calling, and it's not a lead in the true sense. I'm not counting that on my lead tracker, but it's a prospect. Okay, so I'm not counting somebody who started and stopped as a true lead because they just showed interest, but it's when they're willing to have an appointment and meet with me, that's when I'm saying, okay, you are a lead. You've gone to the point that you're going to commit your time to meet with me. That makes you a lead. Do not dilute your lead tracker by putting every single person that ask. You got to show some level of commitment in order to show them as a true lead in your lead tracker. Let's just say it that way. Links in description. So Calendly has become my best friend. I hated Calendly forever. Now half of my appointments are coming in via Calendly because I'm doing them on YouTube, and people are I'm literally saying, look, start the application process or schedule an appointment with me. Whatever you want, let me help you. And the thing I've added in my terminology, in my verbiage, is I've said, hey, my number one job is educating you on the mortgage process and to help you make good decisions. But make no mistake, I am interviewing for the job to be your lender. And so if you believe that I've done a good job in this interview, scan that QR code that's right above my head and let's get started. You can either start the application right now, or you can schedule an appointment to meet with me. But my job is to interview right now. I am interviewing for the job of being your lender, and I'd like to ask you to make that commitment to allow me to do that for you. I'm telling them what I want. I give them all of the information, but then I'm super clear at the end. Hey, you've made it this far. I don't say it that way, but I'm thinking it. You've made it this far. You've listened to me for 30 minutes, because like Anna said, I never shut up. So you listened to me for 30 minutes. You got to this point. You're committed at some level. I'm going to help you make that buying decision. I'm going to help you get to that level by specifically, it's funny, literally an email just popped up from somebody. Hey, John, I wanted to find out about the Dream for All program. I saw you on YouTube. That literally just popped up in my email. I kid you not. So that's what the power of this is. Make it really easy for them to contact you. And oh, by the way, make sure you have your disclaimers and your compliance information. I've gotten yelled at from compliance enough times that we know what we're supposed to put in as the required stuff. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share some things in YouTube to show you a little bit more about how the behind the scenes analytics works in YouTube. But before I get there, do you guys have any questions about anything I've said so far? No? Dave?
John, just one comment, and that is, if you guys picked up on what he's doing, his offer also has a lower the bar close component to it. He's making it easy for them to say yes to the next step. So just remember, you want to keep that door wide open. I think it's brilliant, John. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So I want to share with you what YouTube Studio looks like. Does anybody use YouTube Studio or know even what YouTube Studio is? Okay. Well, if you have a YouTube channel, Vaughn, is that a question, or is that just you saying you've used YouTube Studio?
I've used YouTube Studio.
All right, perfect. So here is my screen. So I have two different channels. This is my long-standing YouTube channel. So I've got just about 800 subscribers right now, 47 in the last 28 days. It ranks every one of your videos, whether it be a short or a regular video, saying, hey, of your last 10, this one is number 4. So this video has been out for 6 days compared to every other video that's been out for 6 days and 55 minutes. This is the 4th best performing video. Okay, so it's not saying lifetime on those videos. It's comparing just the exposure time. So this recent video has been exposed for 6 hours and 55 minutes. And it's the 4th best. My number 1 best, how to profit from your backyard. I don't even know what that one was. Oh, that was about ADUs and building an ADU as a rental property. And I got 1,200 views in the first 6 days and 55 minutes on that video, compared with this one only getting 147. Okay, so just it's a good way to keep track of whether your content is getting better or worse. Okay. But what you've got here is you've got analytics, this 3rd tab on the left. And the analytics are critical once, again, step 1, start recording videos. Pay no attention to thumbnails, pay no attention to titles, just record the videos and put the content out there. Step 2, start paying attention to your titles and your thumbnails to make them engaging. Step 3 is to pay attention to your analytics. Don't do that in the wrong order. Okay, if you do it in the wrong order, you're wasting time. If you don't have content, there's no analytics. If you're not putting time and thought into your thumbnails and your titles, you have nothing to analyze. The other suggestion that I'll give you, and I'm really horrible at this, although I'm trying really hard to get better, is think of your thumbnail and your title before you record the video, not after. Think of your thumbnail and title before you record the video. Ideally, create your thumbnail and your title. Now, when you're recording the video, you're recording it with intent. You have, I can ramble and I go on tangents all the time. And so the hardest thing for me is to stay focused on what I want to talk about. And so if I put the topic and I have my thumbnail and my title completed first, then when I record it, and literally, although on the manufactured home one I didn't have the thumbnail or the title, I was really clear on what I wanted to say, and that has been one of my best performing videos. So the more clear you are on what you want to say before you go into saying it, the more you're going to deliver on that, because what you want is for someone to say, hey, that thumbnail sounds like something I'm interested in. That title sounds like something I'm interested in. I clicked the button, I got what I expected, and I stayed and I watched it. And now YouTube says, oh my gosh, people like them are probably going to feel the same way, and they're probably going to watch it for a long time, which means I can put an ad on there and they're going to watch the ad and I'm going to make more money off of it, because that's all YouTube's there for, is to make money. Give them content for them to put advertising onto. Okay, so this is showing my total number of views, total
Boom.
number of watch hours. Yes.
Oh my gosh. I just thought about, sorry, God knows, I thought maybe doing a video on for divorcing couples, talk about an old T-lean, and maybe have like an attorney do it with you, see what happens.
Yes. But here's what I'll tell you, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. And as you're starting to build a channel, I'm going to encourage you to record whatever you can record. But the real power comes in creating a channel dedicated to how to deal with divorce and financial issues in divorce. Now, I'm turning this backwards because we want mortgage. And so you're saying, no, I want to talk to everybody I can about mortgages. But the best thing you can do is to find an audience of people that have a similar need. Well, the need's too small to say people who are needing a mortgage through a divorce. Okay, that's too nichey. Let me give you a different example. Reverse mortgages. I love doing reverse mortgages. My mom got one 15 years ago and my dad passed away, and it's the best thing that ever happened, and I'm a fan of reverse mortgages. And so I thought about, I haven't done it yet, and if somebody steals this, great, go right ahead. I thought about creating a channel specifically focused on the sandwich generation, focused on the people in, I'm Gen X, I think. Yeah, I'm Gen X. I'm late 40s. So my parents are at the age that they need reverse mortgages, yet I have kids that are still in school. That's the sandwich generation. So I could create a channel with my avatar being people like me who have aging parents and children in the issues that they deal with. Think about over the years, if I created an audience of those people, over the next 10 years, what are they going to be dealing with? Well, first of all, they're dealing with their aging parents. So I can talk about reverse mortgages. I can talk about Medicare and get a Medicare expert. Do I make any money off of Medicare? No. But I'm giving them content they need, so they will keep coming back and looking at me as a resource. And then 10 years from now, their parents have passed away. But now their kids are buying houses and their kids are going to college. And so I'm not necessarily selling them on their home, although I'm going to talk about that as well, because they're homeowners and they're at the point where they're thinking about retirement. And so I can build a channel that will grow with them, because my focus is not reverse mortgages. And I could focus on the segment of people who need a reverse mortgage. But as I thought about it, it's smarter for me to focus on the segment of people that are their children, who are actually key decision makers in the reverse mortgage decision-making process. And so if I'm talking to them, they're going to call mom and dad and say, hey, mom and dad, you got to watch this video. I think this solves your problem. Or mom and dad were talking about doing a reverse mortgage, and they went and did research on their own and they found me. Now, I might not get mom and dad's reverse mortgage because mom and dad were already talking to a guy. But the kids that are my age start watching me because what I'm talking about is the issues of dealing with a parent that has early onset dementia, or is dealing with issues, and how do you navigate those waters, and what is a power of attorney, and what's the difference between that and a trust, and all of those things. Cleo, go right ahead.
How much time is this taking you a week?
About 42 hours. I'm just kidding. Literally, the time is in. So here is the struggle. The struggle is for you guys. you don't have an Anna. I have an Anna. Okay. Anna, what amount of time do you spend a week on YouTube? I'm going to guess 20 on videos. I'm going to guess half of your week is spent on videos. Is that fair? But she's doing a lot. Okay. Here, let me give you a quick tip I didn't put in here. Opus Clip. Is it Opus Clip, right, Anna? Opus
Yes.
Clip. Opus Clip. Opus Clip is a subscription service that I upload. Anna uses. She uploads a long form video into Opus Clip, and it uses AI to edit it into a short form video. So she spent a lot of time editing my videos and taking my long videos and turning them into short ones. By the way, the screen is black on my side too, so it's not loading very quickly. But she spent a lot of time doing that. Now she just takes my YouTube link and pastes it into Opus Clip. And then Opus goes through, again, I don't know why it's not loading. I don't really care. I'm not going to figure that. Anyway, Opus goes through and it creates short video clips. Anna, how long are they? Like 30 seconds to 60 seconds, correct?
Yeah, and you can change it too. It can be longer. That's what you want.
Yeah, so you can adjust it. I won't even bother showing you. A lot of my shorts, so Cleo, that's part of it, is you can use Opus Clip in order to take your long videos and make short videos. But we're at level 103. Like, we're trying to optimize the videos we've done, and we're trying to analyze. She spends a lot of time watching other people's YouTube channels and seeing what works from other people, and then coming back to me with ideas. Hey, John, let's do this different. But how much time I spend on it, honestly, Anna and I talk for an hour once a week, and then I record videos for an hour once a week. I literally spend 2 hours on it a week. And
so it's her, and I'm just being devil's advocate.
Yeah.
It's her 20 hours a week, your 2 hours a week, and that's an average one closing a month.
That is learning to get to this point. So to be clear, I picked up 45 leads in the last 3 weeks over the work that I've done for the last year and a half.
Okay.
So it snowballs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it is, and it doesn't take 20 hours a week.
He's not an overnight success, you guys. John's been doing this a while, but he now has momentum, which is why he's selected to teach this. He's far ahead of all of the rest of us, and his momentum is building. I predict he'll be getting 5 deals a month in 6 months. Would you say that, John? That's what I think.
100%. Like, truly, Anna, would you agree?
But it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
He's showing us the shorter path, by the way. Thank you, John.
Yeah, we're putting in the effort, Cleo, and it's going to take time to get the results. I did not put in 20 hours at the beginning of this. As a matter of fact, I really only put Anna on this full time maybe a year ago. I think it was about a year ago. So before that, we were putting 3 hours a week into it. Now, it snowballed because over the last year, we put a lot more time into it. So the reality is, especially if you're recording in StreamYard, you have no editing to do. That's where you end up that Anna has done a lot of editing and that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. Other questions before I go a little bit deeper into this? Okay. So let me show you the power of what YouTube will do. So what you're seeing here is my views over the last, actually, I'm going to go back. What you're seeing is how many views I've had in the last 48 hours and how many views I've had in the last 60 minutes. So you click right here, and it shows me how well my videos are doing. And for example, here in the 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. hour on Tuesday, I had 18 views. That was my top views in the last 48 hours. But this video right here is by far my top performing video. In the last 48 hours, I've received 275 views. My only views in the last hour have been 5 people finding this video. Okay. And here's how it works. And it takes time. Even a great video takes time for YouTube to find it and figure it out. And this is kind of the big picture of what I want you guys to understand. We're fishing. Okay. You might have one video that does really, really well right away. You might take a long time to have a good video, but if you just have good content, YouTube will find you. So here's what you're seeing. This is my number of views. So if we go back to when this first started, my number of views on October 15th, which I think was a few days after we launched it, was 208, and it stayed in the 200s. Here I'm November 15th, and it's at 300 and something views. I'm in December and I'm 388. By the way, I have 4,800 views right now. But 2 months in and I only have 388. And then it starts picking up a little bit. By January 1, I've got 587, but it starts building momentum. And by January 15th, I've doubled. I'm at 1,200 by January 15th. Then it starts really building momentum, and I'm at 2,000 by January 23rd. I am at 3,500 by January 30th. And here I am on February 8th, and I'm at 4,700 views as of right now. Okay, so YouTube, I've got 250 hours of watch time on this one video, and I've picked up 47 subscribers. Nobody really subscribed to this. I had 3 subscribers all the way through the end of the year, or at least through December. 3 people that clicked the subscribe button after watching this video. But now it found my audience, and YouTube's like, oh my God, we found out. And the way it happens is right here. YouTube's impressions. So YouTube said, I'll show it to a few people. A few people was, 3,500 people. And of those 3,500 people, the click-through rate, well, it popped up and they showed it to a lot of people, and they showed it to more people, and nope, nobody liked it. And then we tried a different audience, and YouTube found, oh, they really like it, but oh no, they don't. And so YouTube trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And it's doing that trial and error on a very small population. And then finally, YouTube will give up and say, nope, we can't find the audience. Or in this case, wait, we found an audience. And so we found an audience in late December, early January. Do you notice that the average of this, the highs and lows got smaller as this went further along, because YouTube figured out, oh, we figured it out. Like if I show it to a little bit different audience, we found the audience, and this has stayed more consistent. Even as they significantly increased the people they showed it to, they said, we found the right audience for this, because even here in late January, and we're at 40,000 people that we've shown this to, and I'm consistently getting 6% of those people clicking. 6% click-through rate is beautiful. Okay, because remember, how many video titles do you show on that YouTube screen? A whole bunch. When you go to the YouTube home, every one of these videos that you're about to see on my home screen got an impression. I'm not going to click on any of them, but they all got an impression. So there are, 12 videos right here that just got an impression that I didn't. Here's a Jim Reed, why buy now? Love it. Four views from 3 hours ago. So if I don't click on this, I'm hurting Jim's numbers. If I do click on it, I'm helping. So Rebecca, I should probably click on that. Okay. But the fact is, these all got impressions. But you can see how important the thumbnail is. Really wordy, like fix this. Oh, well, that makes sense. So this one doesn't have a thumbnail. I don't even know what I'm looking at. So thumbnails can be critical in getting people to say, oh, well, that's interesting. Like I look at this honestly, and it's like, why buy now? But what does that mean? What does that tell me? Rebecca, I'm sorry, because you probably created this, but I'm going to pick on you a little bit. Why buy now is written twice. So it doesn't help. You've just used up valuable real estate to say the same thing twice. Does that make sense, guys? Like when you're creating a thumbnail and you're creating a title, you don't want to use that valuable real estate to say the same thing 2 times. So you want to say something, growing on Instagram, that's fine, but some of your best videos will be thumbnails that are, creative that converts. These Facebook ad creatives convert like crazy in 2024. So that is a very specific, the thumbnail tells a story, the title tells you the details. That's what you're looking to do. Guys, we are at the top of the hour. I think I've covered enough to kind of give you an idea of how all of this works. YouTube can show you so many things about your demographics. That is way down the road. Like spend almost no time in analytics. Your step 1 homework, just start recording videos of things people want to hear about, things people are wondering about, and evergreen videos, things that people will refer to later are very, very good. I'm going to take 30 seconds and explain. I have a whole separate channel. So my whole separate channel is called California Dream for All. That is a down payment assistance program that launched last year that I created a channel quickly on, and it ran out of money in 11 days. And I spent the last year continuing to talk about it. That's what's created my 45 applications in the last 3 weeks, because I created an audience of people that are interested in this particular program. And when the program launched, They all reached out to me right away saying, John, we've been watching you. One guy's wife got mad at him for giving my LP1 his credit card. And she's like, you don't even know them. And she goes, she goes, you don't give your credit card to anybody to pay for a credit report. And he said, yeah, but this is John King. And she goes, you've never met him. He goes, I know, but I've been watching him for a year and I trust him. And so if somebody works for John King, I'm happy to give them my credit card. That's what I've created with that audience. So if you can find a really specific audience and get in deep with them, like the concept I'm talking about with Gen Xers that are in the sandwich generation, they really trust you. And when you say to do something, they do what you tell them to do. All right, we are out of time. Rebecca, do I have time for any questions? And if anybody have any questions?
Yeah, if people want to ask questions, I'll just keep it rolling. Yeah, you can, and whenever you want.
Okay, questions, comments, concerns? Nothing?
I got to
I have
run.
I have a question. What if
great
you
job.
just want to specifically target like a certain city or a certain location, like a state?
Yes. Talk about that state. So realtors do it really, really well. They build an audience because realtors need to focus on that state. They need to focus on their region where they're at. And so they're talking about issues relative to that area, property tax issues relative to that area. Here's what I'll tell you, Frank. I learned this long ago in Buy Referral Only, which kind of preceded the core. And Buy Referral Only taught that the problem with marketing and real estate and lending is we think of them as two separate things when the truth is they're not. Borrowers just want a home and they want money to get that home. And so you have the real estate side of it, which is the chocolate, and you have the lending side of it, which is the peanut butter. You need to put them together in your marketing and make a really good Reese's peanut butter cup. Okay, I'm a huge fan of Reese's peanut butter cups. So when you're talking in your market, you're talking about what's happening in your local market, what builders are coming in there. You're giving them content. You're talking about things that matter to the people in that market. I've been focused on this California Dream for All program. I have about a third of my leads that have come in the last 30 days have been from Southern California. Now, a big part of that is because I've been saying, hey, this program for a few different reasons is going to work out really well for people in Southern California. I'm in Northern California, but a majority of those leads, or a good percentage of those leads, are specifically from that market because I've been saying that over and over again, and people are hearing that message and saying, he's talking about me. And so when I say it's time to take action, they're like, yep, and I'm the one taking action. So you can present your content in such a way that you're focused on a particular geographic region. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then we will wrap. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.